Hello, everyone. Welcome to Roshan Thiran's LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube channel. We have an exciting show lined up for all of you today as we have a very special guest who is a certified emotional intelligence and sales expert, business speaker, and CEO of Select Sales Development. If you haven't heard of Select Sales, we'll drop the link in the comments for you now to find out a bit more. Okay, so why am I here and not Roshan, right? Good question. Stay tuned because he might just appear. Until then, I'm Shashi. I head up the strategic projects team at Leadonomics, and I also produce videos and podcast content as well. Before I introduce our special guest, I just want to let you know that this live stream is in partnership with Together We Can Change the World, an NGO dedicated to improving the well-being of disadvantaged children and women across Southeast Asia. So together we can change the world. We're having our annual Malaysia Leadership Summit after a 2-year break. So this summit, what is it about? I mean, if you have been seeing this on different social media platforms, it's all about inspiring and empowering leaders across organizations to make a difference in the workplace. So ultimately, what this summit seeks to do is it's a huge opportunity to raise funds for community organizations and NGOs across Malaysia because 100% of all tickets sold, so the ticket that you buy goes to charities and communities in Malaysia. We will drop the link in the comments for you to purchase the tickets as well. And before we get into the whole interview with our special guest, here's a quick highlight reel from 2019's Malaysia Leadership Summit.
Sometimes we think it just is a great leader that creates innovation, but we know really that it's the whole team. You can't just have a few stars. The whole team has to be innovative and creative in order to really keep yourself at that cutting edge.
Impact of words and how you phrase them, it affects not only people around you but yourself.
One that Mohan has mentioned earlier, the 3 pillars that we can actually contribute as an individual.
And it's nice to know that it's actually relevant and it's actually something that you can apply in your leadership skills.
Your mindset as a leader cascades to the rest of your world. So how you set yourself up in your mind, your thoughts, your judgments, what George was talking about, how deliberate you can be with your communication, the words that you choose, that all starts with mindset.
Together we can change the world. Thank you for being part of Together We Can Change the World today. We are connected forever now.
Okay, so that was MLS 2019, and I was there as well. It was a great experience to be there. And for this year, it's going to be bigger and better because it's also about the future of work. The theme is about innovation, influence, and inspiration. So, with that, I'd like to take my time to invite my co host, Hui Ming, who is the co founder of Leaderonomics, who will be interviewing our special guest for today, Merit Kahn.
Thank you, Sashi. Thank you for that nice introduction and the videos and all the highlights of MLS 2019. And welcome to the show, Merit. It's really nice to have you here with us.
Well, thank you. I'm honored to be here with you.
And Mary, I'm really glad to be here with you as well. And I heard that the last time you came to Malaysia, it was like 28 years ago. Was that right?
That is correct. 1994 and 1995. I backpacked around the world on my own, and I enjoyed very much my time in Southeast Asia.
Oh yes, and I think you find that things have changed a lot here in Malaysia, but we definitely tell you that people are as warm as usual. You know, the food is as great. You know, and we really hope that you will have a great time here in Malaysia. So Mary, we are going to see you on the 21st, and I would like for you to maybe just do a brief introduction of yourself, and also tell us how did you actually come across and get involved with Together We Can Change the World.
Absolutely. So I have been in sales management, training, coaching, consulting since 1998. I run a company called Select Sales Development. We spell it SELLECT, although typically the word select is spelled with one L. But we are all about selling and helping companies and organizations grow their influence and their expertise and share that and sell more of their products and services and the things that they do that are good for the world. Except that we don't want you to sell. We don't teach people to be pushy and aggressive about it. We really want you to learn how to get selected. And when you focus on being selected by your ideal clients and customers to really solve the problems that are keeping them up at night, then it's good for everybody. How I got involved with Together We Can Change the World happened many years ago with my good friend Scott Friedman. I'm part of the National Speakers Association in the United States, and it was always my dream to go back to the countries that had made such an impact on me as a young girl. I think it's fabulous to be able to go back and give to the people and the places that gave me so much of my, my view of the world. And I felt empowered when I was here and traveling on my own and meeting people and seeing amazing places and trying new things. And now to be able to come back as in a capacity to give back to the region and the people is really special to me.
That's really nice to hear. And Scott is like a friend to everyone, right? He's impacted so many people that everyone is like, we need to make sure that we also, do what he does across the region as well. And that inspires a lot of us. That was a really amazing perspective. Instead of focusing on trying to sell more, but changing our minds to focusing on getting selected. I mean, that itself is like a change of a mindset of how we see things and how we approach sales, right? So maybe you could share with us, Mary, at the MLS, at the Malaysian Leaders Summit, right? What are some snippets of the things that you might be sharing with the participants?
Well, we're going to be talking all about the future of work. And the topic that I'm really going to be zeroing in on is as it relates to sales, innovation, and influence. So how can you, as a leader or whatever role you play on your team, how can you bring innovation and add influence to what you're doing, right? How can you be more influential? How can you think more from an innovative perspective? And I think I might have a slightly different approach to that topic than some of my colleagues on the platform, because I think innovation is very much something that we look at outside, right? We look at, you can see, and I'm really looking forward to seeing all of the the obvious innovation that has happened in Malaysia since the 28 years that I was there. And I've been looking through my old photographs and things, and there were things that, I took pictures in places where you would recognize today, and the background is completely different. So there's obvious external innovation. And what I want to share and talk about and really open your minds to at this conference is really what I call internal innovation, right? So what is happening inside us that we are seeing new possibilities, new ways of imagining how we go to market, how we grow our sales teams, how we benefit and add value to our customers and clients. And all of that innovation that you see on the outside started from an internal innovation standpoint. And I think that's going to be an interesting vantage point for us to discuss at the Leadership Summit.
That sounds interesting. I'm curious to know the approach that you'll be taking, but we're not going to reveal anything to the audience today, right? Yeah.
Gotta buy a ticket.
Definitely. Yeah, and Mary, I understand that you have like some 4 critical or keywords that you normally use that describes the transformation in sales and leadership. Could you give us some insights into that? Yeah.
I'll give you a little teaser on that. Absolutely. So I think that, one of the things that I've done for my entire career, I've really been helping people with what is it that you say to a prospect or a client, or really in a prospect, to grow sales? What is it that you say in that business conversation that generates interest so that they want to hear more about how you can solve their problems? And what I realized somewhere along the line was that it's difficult you might have the best products and services anywhere in the world. You might have the most convincing argument. You might be the most influential person. But at the end of the day, if you're in a conversation with somebody who is really not open to hearing what you have to say, it doesn't matter how skilled you are in the words that you choose, or it doesn't matter really how great your products and services can solve problems. It only matters that you can first open their mind to hear your innovative ideas, to hear your solutions, to hear your offers, because we can't say yes to something that we're not open to. And so I think I always keep the words behind me. So if you're watching live and you're seeing us on video, the 4 magic words that will transform everything are very simply this: are you open to? So if you want to hear me say those in multiple languages, you got to buy a ticket for that one. But I think it's the same across the world.
And I see that in the pillow that you have behind you, the cushion that you have behind you. Are you open to? Okay. So that's the magic keyword then. Okay. Magic phrase that we use.
And I
Right.
love that it's in my background, because when I'm doing my virtual meetings all day long, every day, I am it's a reminder to my audience to be open to what what I'm sharing with them. And it's also a reminder to me to be open to what I'm hearing. And I think that when salespeople in particular go into a conversation with a one-track mind, like we have something that we are focused on, this is the thing we want to sell, this is the thing we want to talk about, this is the conversation we want to have. And when we go into that with our closed mind, we're not open to really listening to the needs of our prospects. And I think that shuts down a lot of opportunity. And so I think it's not just a message about how do we open the minds of people that we want to be more influential with, but it's also how do we make sure that we keep an open mind so that we're not stuck offering things that might not be the right solutions and the best fit for our clients.
I really like that approach. I've always heard of people teaching us how to sell or do sales, where you say keywords to make the customer say yes, 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 yes. So I was expecting that, but now it's a totally different thing. It's about how we open people's minds to opportunities or possibilities. Yeah, so looking forward to hearing and learning from you on that approach. Mary, I'm just curious, how did you get into the space of sales and leadership? Yeah.
Well, I come from a family of sales professionals. I think, oftentimes if you're a doctor, it's because you grew up around other doctors, or, if you're in agriculture, if you have a farm, it's because your family has a farm, right? So I think that it was just a natural path for me. I always really enjoyed helping people. I enjoy being with people. And sales, from my perspective, is not about trying to push my ideas on somebody else. It's really trying to be a match, to figure out as quickly as possible whether or not we're a good match for each other. And so I mean, I can remember even being a child, I had a greeting card business when I was about 9 years old, and I made my own little custom greeting cards, and I went door to door, and I said to people, wouldn't it be awful if your best friend had a birthday and you just didn't think about it enough in advance? Wouldn't it be nice if you just had birthday cards, like, waiting around, like, on hand always, so you're never caught off guard? So I don't know that I certainly didn't have any official formal sales training, but I intuitively understood that why people make buying decisions is all really about our emotions. It's very little about, well, your card is 50 cents and I was looking for a card that was 25 cents. Sorry, I'm not putting that in your Malaysian ringgit at the moment. I don't remember the conversion, but um, that's, it's really all about understanding that people have emotions, and when they're frustrated or concerned or overwhelmed, they're hurting. And I think at the end of the day, all a really good sales professional wants to do is take away that hurt and help. And that's what I grew up around.
You started your journey of entrepreneurship really young, didn't you? At
I
9 years
did.
old.
I did.
And I just like the way you kind of put empathy into sales.
I think empathy is incredibly important, and it's one of the things that I've done a lot of study around, the whole body of work called emotional intelligence. And I'll give you an example, Hue. If you think about with the pandemic, right? And we've all, it's a shared global experience. It showed up for all of us in many different ways, but it's certainly a universal experience. And I know I was getting a lot of phone calls from my clients who were concerned about, how do we make sales calls? How do we have sales conversations when people are in this state of uncertainty and there's so much bigger issues going on in the world? It seems inauthentic to talk about sales and business. And I really looked at the relationship between empathy and assertiveness. So those are two emotional intelligence attributes that we can assess for. And when they're out of balance, it's very difficult for people, and it shows up in a way that's not going to help you be very successful. So somebody who doesn't have empathy for others and is a very assertive person is going to say, yeah, 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 there's a pandemic, do you want to buy this thing? Like, this is what I've got to do. I've got to sell these things. And that's very unattractive. That's the salesperson that gets a bad reputation. But if you have high empathy and very low assertiveness, if you had that profile and you had a solution that could really help solve a problem, but your empathy was so high, you might say something to them like, it's really hard out there, and I feel for you. Is there anything I can do? And I just wanted to check in. And then, without offering anything that could be a helpful solution to them, you feel good because you're checking in, but you're not assertive enough to present a solution. So the solution that I would offer to someone is to balance both empathy and assertiveness. And what it sounds like in that context is, there's so much in the world that we can't control right now. Would you be open to having a conversation about one of the things that is within our control? One of the things that could help you solve the problem that is right in front of you as it relates to sales or whatever it is your thing is. And I think when I talk to audiences and I do my consulting work with clients, across the states, it's really a message that resonates with them, because we want to be helpful, but we also want to provide the value that we know people need.
Yeah, and I think it goes back to that phrase, right? People don't really care until they know that you care for them, and that's where the genuinity or sincerity of any person actually comes across. Yeah,
Yes.
Mary, business leaders or people who have gone through many years of experience in life, a lot of us have what we call crucible moments where something really impactful happens to us, and it kind of changes or directs where we focus our attention and efforts and passion towards. I'm just curious, were there any crucible moments in your journey so far, that transformed you or kind of made you who you are today?
Well, there have been many, but I'm going to pick one that I think will you won't be expecting. One of the one of the turning points in my life happened when I started studying stand-up comedy. And it was certainly not anything that I had anticipated. I took a comedy class because I wanted to learn how to be more, um, connect better with my audiences when I was doing keynotes at large conferences or even smaller training sessions. And I think I was always, I'm funny in the moment. I could work off somebody's responses and we can have an improvisational, humorous moment. But I really wanted to learn how comedians write a joke and how they really look at the world and see and look for those funny moments. And it shifted my worldview almost as much, I would say, as my world travels, because I think there's certain things that you can only really learn in life by immersing yourself in different cultures and meeting people, and it just broadens your perspectives. So I think, certainly traveling the world was a key crucible moment, a year of crucible moments. But studying comedy also shifted my worldview, and it had me look for the humorous moments, even in the challenging situations. And now I'm able to bring lessons about that to my audiences because, like a comedian is very deliberate in choosing the words that they use to get to the laugh. In sales and business, and certainly with leaders, we need to be very deliberate with our word choices, not only in our own companies, but when we're working across the globe, right? Words matter. And so that was a lesson from comedy that translated to business, as well as, just being really thoughtful of who's in your audience. So I could do a whole comedy set on, dating, but if I'm in front of an audience of people who are married or not dating, it's not as funny to them. Right? So a comedian has to know their audience, and they have to know their material so well that they can shift gears. If they see that the audience is not responding to their humor, they can try a different approach. And I think that's also important, for us to remember as leaders, that we don't all have the same communication style. And so if we're only communicating in one style, or we only have one small, toolbox for our jokes and comedy, then we don't have as much uh, leeway. We don't have the opportunity to shift gears and to connect with people in other ways.
Wow, you definitely caught us off guard. I mean, stand-up comedian. Okay. That would be something that if I do that, it would be like a interesting bucket list to say this is something that I have to dare to do. But I'll say that you definitely adds more humor to the person.
Well, and I
Will,
promise
will, will, will we be
I
seeing some antics? Will we be seeing some of the stand-up comedian in the MLS coming up soon?
absolutely. I
Oh,
guarantee you
nice.
will laugh. The event is really full, very full, content rich. There's so much really good, practical, relevant information that all of the presenters are going to be sharing. But I definitely promised some laughs along the way. There's singing. We put on a good show, and you'll walk out thinking you wanted the day to be twice as long.
Right, right. I heard that one of your peers, Jeff Civiligo, is also a stage entertainer and business keynote speaker. So I'm guessing it's going to be really entertaining and engaging as well. Right?
Absolutely, he's hilarious.
I'm seeing some scary comments coming in, about seeing me as a stand-up comedian. It's not going to happen. I'll leave it that to Merit and to Jeff Sibiligo on that day itself. And bonjour to Abdul Shukur from Singapore. It's nice to have the audience from different parts of the region as well. If anyone has comments or questions for Merit, please drop it in the comment screen, and we will get Merit to answer it later on as well. Yeah. Yeah. Merit, I understand that you did share across with us before that sometimes business leaders with a lot of experience, or business people who has expertise in something, this expertise can sometimes work against us. I'm just wondering what's kind of your take on that.
Well, yes. So there's, there's an interesting philosophy, when you think about beginner's mind. When you know that you don't know something, then you have to ask a question. And generally, the question would be something that is related to, I wonder why they asked that question. So if you were to ask me, does your I don't know, ask me a question like, does your product solve this particular solution? Let's pretend that I know for a fact it does solve that solution. I would say, "Oh my gosh, let's say, can you get this in blue?" Something easy. Can we get it in blue? Not only does it come in blue, it comes in 17 different shades of blue. It also comes in 13 shades of orange. And right, so if I have so much knowledge, I'm probably going to over answer versus if I go back to beginner's mind and I ask a question like, it does come in blue, but let me ask you this before I talk your ear off about the 17 shades of blue. Why does blue matter to you? What is important about blue? Why did you ask me that question? And when you ask a question like that, you are getting to the real question. And I think the problem that a lot of experts make is that we are so fast to demonstrate our expertise. We want everybody to know how smart we are, when really the thing that you can do that will make you look the smartest is find out why that question is important to the person who asked it.
And I am going to practice that immediately the next time I meet my client. When they ask me for a solution, I will go and kind of lay out everything that we can do for you, but I'll pause and ask that question first. Thank you so much for that, Merit. I'm just learning a lot from you just from this short window of interview with you. All right. What you'll be speaking on in the Malaysian Leadership Summit is building an innovation and inspiring sales team. What can participants learn kind of from you on that day itself? Very brief nuggets, yeah.
Yeah, well, we're definitely going to talk about how to open people's minds. And one of the things that we want to be able to do when we're talking about building a strong sales team is you want to really identify all of the things that you want to ask good questions to the people that you are considering bringing on your team to find out if you're a good match. So somebody could have great sales experience. Maybe they worked for a competitor and you know that they know the industry, but because of the background or the way that that company was run, it may be that they're not a good match for you. So I would really encourage people, first of all, to have the mindset of looking for the top performing people, not just the best available people in the moment, because that really does make a huge difference. But also, are you looking for people who are open-minded, who have an innovative perspective, who see more possibilities? Because it's with that internal innovation, when you hire people that are hardwired for internal innovation, they are the people that are going to take your business to the next level. They are the people that are going to look for those new opportunities and new possibilities. And those are the people who aren't going to stop until they make that happen. And I think that's one of the things it's very hard to interview for, but when you know some of the cues and things to look for, it's a lot easier to add the right people to your team.
And you will be sharing with us all the cues to identify the right DNA of innovative person.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's great. That's great. You know, we're talking a lot about things that we can look forward to seeing you kind of share with us on that day. Now, what are you looking forward to for the Malaysia Leadership Summit 2022?
I am incredibly excited about, first of all, just the energy of the event. It's been 2 years since we can gather in person again. I'm really excited to be back in Malaysia after 28 years. I'm thrilled to see all of the innovation that has happened in the country and in the city. I'm super excited to meet new people and have meaningful conversations. And I'm really looking forward to listening to my colleagues and learning from them, because I certainly don't know everything there is to know. And I'm always open to new ideas and new learning. And I know that there's going to be a wealth of information there. So I'm excited to soak up all I can and to share as much as I can, and to see what ripple effect that has in the region.
Yes, and we're definitely looking forward to see you in person, Merit, and welcoming you back to KL. I'm looking forward to all the lineup of speakers that we have also in Malaysia Leadership Summit, and really want to thank you for being here with us to be the first speaker on the show, and looking forward to hearing what you have to share as well.
Thank you so much. We'll see you in Malaysia.
Thank you so much, Hui Ming and Merit, for that insightful interview. Just want to as Hui Ming was mentioning our speakers lineup, just want to remind our viewers out there, if you're watching this, even if it's later or not when it's live, don't worry, you can always comment. As Hui Ming mentioned, you can tag us in the comments and drop questions for Merit. Just to let you know, this is our speaker lineup. As you can see, Merit is there. We have Jonathan, we have Scott, we have Jeff, Manoj, a few from the last time as well. And also we have a special fireside chat that will be happening concurrently as the conference is going on. Short conversations with different business leaders. And this is where it's more of an intimate session where you can also be part of. So there'll be so many things happening concurrently. Everything is also going to be fully recorded. Everything will be available to you if you're joining the summit to even watch it after the summit. It will be sent to you. And just a little information on the venue. Yes, this is our venue sponsor, Satya City Convention Center. If you go to the link in the chat, I think we will drop it again, bit.ly MLS 2022. You will find all the information you need to on how to get there and more information. If you're watching this stream now live, or if you're watching it later and you're interested but you're not sure, you feel like you need more information, just type in the comments. You can tag me, myself, or you can tag Roshan, or you can just type, I want to go to MLS 2022, and we will reach out to you. Okay, so to wrap up, thank you so much, Merit, once again. So intrigued by the Are You Open To behind you, the pillow. I feel like getting one of those kind of pillows too. It's definitely a very good conversation starter. Thanks again, Merit and Hui Ming. Just a reminder, everyone, so this summit, all proceeds, 100% of all ticket sales goes to charity organizations and NGOs across Malaysia. This leadership summit is happening on the 21st of July. We'll add some information for you in the comments at Satya City Convention Center, Satya Alam, Selangor, Malaysia. It's from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. If you have more information that you're seeking to find out, just look at the comments. All the links are there for you to find out more detailed information. Okay, to end today's session, we're just going to show a video by Rebecca Morgan on how to lead a team. She was one of our speakers at the MLS 2019. Just a sneak peek of Rebecca's session. Thank you, everyone, for joining today.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Morgan. I come from San Jose, Silicon Valley, California. My leadership nugget is from my book, Leadership Lessons from Silicon Valley. The nugget is to really look at how you are leading your team to make sure that it is safe for them to disagree with you, to come up with wacky ideas that may sound really stupid at first, but by having a wacky idea at first, other people may build on it and create a really innovative idea that if that wacky idea wasn't there, the innovation, it wouldn't have morphed into an innovative idea. So in order to do that, you have to create a place where people are safe to say crazy, wacky things in a brainstorming environment. And that means you have to make sure that people are respectful of each other, they don't chastise each other, they don't put each other down, and they're fully focused on the conversation. And one tip about that is in those sort of meetings, have everybody take their phone, got mine right here, take their phone, put it face down on the middle of the table. I know that sounds painful, but if you put it, everybody puts it down, face down in the middle of the table, they will make eye contact with each other. They will look at each other. They will read the facial expressions. You will have a much more productive meeting than people texting, pretending they're listening at the same time. That's my leadership nugget. I'm Rebecca Morgan.